Well, hello there, sweetheart. I am so glad that you came so that Nani could read you another story. Today we're reading The Princess and the Pig. It looks really silly. Not that long ago, in a kingdom not that far from here, a farmer was traveling home from the market with a cartload of straw. The farmer was so poor that he didn't have a horse, and he had to pull his own cart. There he is. In the back of the cart lay a tiny pink piglet. Nobody wanted to buy a piglet at the market, but the farmer had to take pity on it. "I'll call you Pigmella," he decided, as this seemed to be like a good name for a pig. It was a hot day, and the farmer stopped to rest in the shade of the great castle. Far, far above him in the high balcony, a queen was inspecting her new baby daughter. The queen was so rich that she had 7 nannies and didn't have to look after her own child. There's all the nannies. The queen picked the baby out of her cradle and held her at arm's length. "I'll call it Priscilla," she decided, as it seemed like a good name for a princess. That moment later, a wet, squeaking noise came from the baby's diaper, closely followed by an awful smell. "Yuck!" shrieked the queen, dropping the baby and running off to find the royal nannies. She left so quickly that she didn't notice that she had dropped her baby. Oh no! Over the edge of the balcony. Look at that. She dropped her baby. Look, there's a pug. There's a pug puppy. I love pug puppies. Down, down, down went the baby into the farmer's cart, and up, up, up flew the piglet into the princess cradle. Oh, my Lord. When the queen returned and found the piglet lying where her baby should have been, she let out an even louder shriek and fainted into the nanny's arms. The king thought he knew what had happened. Bad fairy had done this, he explained. The fairy wasn't invited to the princess's christening, so she turned the baby into a piglet to get her revenge. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in these books. Oh, Lord, Sleeping Beauty. Meanwhile, the farmer had returned home and was surprised to discover the baby girl lying where the piglet should have been. The farmer's wife thought she knew what had happened. "A good fairy had done this," she explained. "A fairy knew how poor and honest we are and how badly we wanted a child, so she turned the piglet into a baby. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time." Aww, they are so happy to have a baby. And so, without a second thought, the baby became Pigmella, the farmer's daughter. And the piglet became Priscilla, the royal princess. Oh, Lord. It wasn't long before Pigmella was able to walk and get dressed all by herself, and the farmer and his wife soon forgot that she'd ever been a pig. Things were not so easy for Priscilla, and the king and queen never let anyone forget that she was really a princess. As Pigmella grew older, she grew smarter and beautiful and was admired by everyone she met. As Priscilla grew older, she was not so smart, she was not so beautiful, and was avoided by everyone she met. Look at her sitting on the table eating the cake. Naughty pig. Then, one day, the farmer's wife overheard some of the castle servants talking about the princess who had turned into a pig. "It's just like what happened to Pigmella," she told her husband, "only the other way around." And the farmer soon guessed what happened. "The princess and the pig must have been swapped places somehow," he explained. "It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in these books." Oh, they're so upset. The poor farmer and his wife were very unhappy and loved Pigmella, and they knew they must return her to her rightful home. Look, they're crying. It cannot be easy for them to let go of someone they love so dearly. Pigmella was also unhappy. She loved the farmer and his wife and did not want to leave anyone, but they were honest people, so the next day they went to the castle to see the queen and king. And the king and queen listened to the farmer's story. Look at Pigmella sitting up there, being all silly. But they didn't believe it. What nonsense, cried the queen. Ridiculous, the king laughed. This girl may be smart and beautiful, but she does not look or speak like a real princess. The queen thought she knew what was happening. It's a trick, she declared. This girl is just a farmer's daughter pretending to be a princess so that she can marry a prince. But it's the sort of thing that happens in these books all the time. So, Pigmella returned home with the farmer and his wife, where she married a young shepherd and lived happily ever after, never once wishing she'd been a princess. Aw, she got to stay with her family. How special and sweet. And Priscilla also got married to a handsome prince, although he had been talked into it. Priscilla was changed into a pig by a bad fairy, the king explained. But once you kiss her, the spell will be broken, and she will turn back to a beautiful princess, added the queen. It's the sort of thing that happens all the time in these books. But unfortunately for the prince, look at her in her dress. It's not the sort of thing that happens in this particular book. Oh, look at the pug and the poor prince who married a pig. Well, sweetheart, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope you enjoyed this book as much as I did. I love you, and I hope all goes well.